Let's go now to our reporter Logan Church, who's in Greymouth. Hi Logan, the Prime Minister was due to meet these families for dinner this evening. Have those plans changed at all?
Hi Lisa, yes, no, those plans will be going ahead. The Prime Minister is expected to meet with the families of the Pike River mine victims tonight and tomorrow. Of course, she and other dignitaries, including the Minister responsible for the mine's re-entry, Andrew Little, were already coming to attend a ceremony that was set to take place tomorrow to mark the re-entry. That ceremony will still happen. There will still be something happening up at the mine. There just won't be anyone actually physically going into it.
And so you mentioned the families, obviously. What has been the reaction? A big build up to this, everybody was looking forward to it. What are they saying?
Completely. I think a mixture here. Certainly there's a lot of disappointment. Many of the families I spoke to today were very disappointed that tomorrow's re-entry won't be happening, but there was also a lot of understanding. One thing that many of these family members have been pushing for some time is increased health and safety on work sites, and here is an example where the agency thought that there was a risk, and it did something on that risk. So they're largely supportive of the agency's actions here. Of course, today started very differently though to how it ended up. The day began with a drive up to the Pike River mine, where media had been invited to see how work was going to break the concrete seal inside the mine. But when we got to the gates, we were told the visit had been cancelled. No explanation was given other than everyone was busy. So back in town, I met up with Anna Osborne, who lost her husband Milton in the disaster. She was looking forward to the re-entry plan tomorrow.
Tomorrow is going to be a huge celebration. Praise God that it all goes to plan. We will celebrate tomorrow, celebrate the new beginning, that our men coming to the light, the tunnel being opened and the light being shined down that shithole that it has been for the last 8.5 years. I can't wait to see the concrete being pulled from the portal and let some light return to that dark hellhole that it is. Just want my man home. I really want him home.
I can see that it's 8.5 years on, you're still fighting.
He wouldn't have given up on me, and I'm not giving up on him.
I also caught up with Rowdy Durbridge. He worked at the mine before the explosion.
It was a beautiful dream. It was a hope held by many, and it just needed a little bit of tweaking and professionalism, I felt, underground. Whereas the admin buildings and the blocks and the paperwork seemed to be, looking at it from a miner's point of view, all done well, but they needed to really look at the gear that we're using underground, the way that the headings were being developed, ventilation, the whole 9 yards needed a serious look at from someone that knew gear, as opposed to having managers come and go that didn't really care about the place.
Because there's a very high turnover of managers, weren't there, at the time?
There was, and the same with miners. Like, you'd have a bus full of Aussie miners, experience, come over. I was happy as hell to see them, and then within weeks they'd be all gone again.
Yeah. How safe do you think it was back then? Did you ever think something could go really wrong here?
Oh yeah, we all did, but not to the catastrophic state that it ended up being.
And for Rowdy, it's been 8.5 long years trying to get his co-workers out. But he said operations like these are unpredictable.
With mining, it's a lot like being at sea. You never know, you never know. And I'll hold that right up until the end of the day.
But just moments after he made those comments, about midday, their phones started ringing. The re-entry tomorrow was off. At the Pike River Recovery Agency's Greymouth HQ, Chief Operating Officer Dingy Pattinson, who was also supposed to be the first man in the mine tomorrow, told media what had happened.
During that operation, we got an unexpected or unknown reading of oxygen in a borehole, a slight reading further into the mine at the end of a tunnel.
That point is known as Borehole 51, right above rockfall, an area that collapsed at the end of the entry tunnel. But Dingy says the decision to call the operation off temporarily was easy.
Disappointed for the families. more than anything else. I understand mining. Mining's challenging, and these sort of things occur in mining. I mean, so you don't let these sort of things get you down in mining.
Rowdy told me after the announcement he supported the agency's decision.
You're dealing with Mother Nature, and as Dave says, which was a perfect description, that the mine, if you like, is like a breathing organism that has its own idiosyncrasies, and these guys have only been up there working the mine for a short time, and like most things that live and breathe, if you don't know them, they're unpredictable.
Anna Osborne agreed.
It's not the outcome we wanted, but it's one that I totally understand and is a necessary outcome to have due to the unpredictable atmosphere in the portal at the moment, the drift, at the moment. And, health and safety has always been at the forefront, and so it's really important that we get this right, but we do it with health and safety at the forefront of our minds.
The question now is, when will the re-entry take place? No one from the agency could say. They said time to them was not important. Bernie Monk, the father of Michael, who died following the explosion, was also supportive of the decision.
It's not a showstopper. This is an everyday event in mining. This can be easily worked through and will be. It's just that, everyone's motivated and to a point where
it's sort of momentum, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, a momentum, and everyone thought it was going to happen this, and it hasn't quite happened. Everyone's a bit deflated, but I'm not, and I know that this will eventually get done.
The planned ceremony tomorrow will still be going ahead at the mine, with dignitaries, including the Prime Minister, expected to attend. However, no one will be going into the mine. The seal, at least for now, remains shut. In Greymouth for Checkpoint, Logan Church.